This is a look at our pig fat that we got back that we're going to make into lard. We recently took in our Berkshire pig to the butcher, and when they asked for our cutting instructions, we asked to get the pig fat back, the back fat, and the leaf lard. And the lady that took our cutting instructions hadn't really heard of that before, but she passed the instructions on to the butcher, who knew exactly what we wanted, and this is what we got back. So we're going to cut this up into small pieces and start trying to render some lard. So I've started out by separating all the fat, kind of coarsely chopping it, and there's quite a bit more than what I expected. So the butcher had it pretty tightly packed in that bag. I want to show you these pieces that have a little bit more meat on them. I'm trying to get the lard as pure as possible, so just so it doesn't have any meat flavor, I'm going to take these out of it. But the rest is, as you can see, is pretty white, pretty clean of any meat pieces. So we're now just going to chop these really fine. The finer you get this chopped, the more lard you can get out of it. So just to show you, we're just taking a piece of lard. It's still kind of semi-frozen right now. We're just cutting it up into fairly coarse slices. And since we didn't get ours ground, we're just taking a chopper and just giving it a few chops. And you can see it's almost like little cheese curds. So once we have it all done, we're going to then throw it into the crock pot. So we got a little over half chopped in our little assembly line here. So we're just going to take what we've chopped so far, put that in the crock pot here, pull the rest of that out. And we're going to set this on low. And we'll probably put a quarter cup to half a cup of water in here just to help get it started, and that water will evaporate. So we have the crock pot fully loaded with all of our fat, our leaf lard and our back fat, and we're just using a wooden tool here to just turn it every 20 minutes or so the heat can be spread around and it can start to render. Just to give you an idea, this has been about 2 hours since we've been rendering the lard, so you can see it's already starting to melt down. Maybe in another hour we will strain the liquid into jars, this first batch, and then let it continue to render. Alright, so this is about 4 hours since we started. There's quite a bit rendered, so we're going to pull out some of that as much as we can. This is the first lard that we rendered that we've taken out of the crock pot. We're going to filter it. We have a sieve or a strainer, and we have some cheesecloth in the bottom of here, and our funnel. So we're just going to pour the rendered lard right through that cheesecloth. And this is the stuff that melted quickest, so this is the stuff that you're really after. This is the most pure lard coming through here. We have filled up 2 more little jars. This was the second batch of lard that we drained off. Here's the first bottle, so you can see the color difference when it's liquid. And right now, the rest of the fat pretty much looks kind of like onions that have cooked down. And they're continuing to render. This is a look at the rendered lard now that it has been completely solidified. This is the very first batch. You can see how white that one is. So this is the second amount that we pulled out. They're all fairly white, maybe a little bit darker on this is the third batch we pulled out. And then the last one you can see started getting a little bit darker. And this is what we were left with. About 4 cups. So we're just going to put these on the cookie sheet and just throw them in the oven to finish getting crispy. So we can use on salads or snacks. We'll just throw some salt on them. To give you a timeline, we started this in the crock pot at 4 in the afternoon, and by the time we got this last bottle out, it was midnight. So, took most of the afternoon into the night. So we put these in the oven on a cookie sheet, probably for about 10 minutes, set it on broil, and here's what we have left. Crunchy pieces of fat, fried in fat. Big fat. Tastes good. So after these cool off, we'll put it in a Ziploc bag and we can use it for salads or snacking.